All right, when I hear news like this, it makes me long for the days when we would actually be able to stay in line at midnight the night before the tickets would go on sale. What's up, everybody? So, Highlander news, and I'm stoked about this one. This is the reunion of Kal-El and Jor-El from Man of Steel. So, you have Henry Cavill, who is going to be taking up the mantle of the Highlander, and you have Russell Crowe, who will be his mentor-like character. If you don't know about this one, it's gonna be directed by Chad Stahelski. I'm a huge fan of the original, even though the original has some issues to it. But it's a movie that I loved so much growing up. And when I heard that Chad Stahelski, the man behind John Wick himself, is going to be taking up this particular, hopefully, franchise, if he, moves on from John Wick and then does a bunch of Highlander movies going forward, I am all for that. I think him bringing his storytelling sensibilities, his action sequences sensibilities to something as rich as Highlander, I think it's going to make for hopefully incredible stories to come. There's always, I always think of the original Highlander, which had some weird things. You have Christopher Lambert, a Frenchman, playing a Scotsman. You have Sean Connery playing Ramirez, a Scotsman playing a Spaniard, and then you have Clancy Brown playing the character of Kurgan, the villain, who I don't really know anything so much. He's just a weird character, but memorable, iconic, I would even say. And, now that they're going to, give it a bit of a modern polish in the sense of just putting more money behind it, putting more care. I mean, Chad Stahelski has been working on this movie for years, just trying to get the right script, the right world, the right mythology all put together for modern audiences. When I mean modern audiences, I don't necessarily mean anyone that's going in there with a particular agenda, but just somebody who just wants to come in and enjoy just a fun movie, you know. And I think with some budget constraints and just some behind the scenes shenanigans, about how to put together, the original movie as fun. And I have a lot of affection for that original movie. But you can see the flaws in it. And I think with somebody like Chad Stahelski behind the helm, I think he's going to bring with it, his movie making style. And I think that'll do wonders for it. And Henry Cavill's, of course, hot take. I think he's the best Superman. At the same time, I also loved him in The Witcher. I love his nerdiness and how that kind of comes through in some of his roles. And I think that will be something that everybody can appreciate as well. And just, again, seeing these two back together, I really enjoy Man of Steel. I enjoyed a little bit more the more times I've watched it, even though I can see the things that aren't so great in it, particularly the action sequences, the fights between, the Kryptonians and Superman. They're not the best. But from a storytelling standpoint, I think it's a really, really great movie that just had some things in it that prevented it from being as successful as it possibly could. But one of the things that was incredibly successful in my eyes was the dynamic between Henry Cavill and Russell Crowe, and I think if they can bring that same kind of chemistry to Highlander, I think it's going to make for a fun ride. Anyways, what about you guys? Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Smash that like button, give me a follow, and I'll see you guys next time.